Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wayback Chronicles podcast. My name is Steve McKelkey, and I'm here with my lifelong friends Keith Abbott and Noel Kirsch. As you recall on this podcast, we cover all the greatest events from 1970 to current. Super excited to introduce Noel Kirsch, who's going to talk about the world of sports in the year of 2008. So Noel, is all yours. Tell us about all the awesome things that the Boston Celtics did.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow.
Now, 2008 was one of those years, like I was talking about in the last episode, was pretty amazing. Like I said, there were some sports, as I was doing my research for this episode, there were some sportscasters that were talking about how 2008 may have been one of the best sports years of all time. So there's a lot going on. The first thing that happened, obviously, in 2008, is the Summer Olympics in Beijing. And I don't know if you guys watched the opening ceremony for that, but it was quite ornate, we'll say. Very Chinese, and lots of. It was very ornate. I'll just leave it at that. It was unbelievable.
I remember it. That was fantastic, actually.
Yeah, golly, it was years and years. I mean, 2008. But I still remember. yeah, I still remember it. It was pretty amazing. But lots that the highlights really from the Summer Olympics were really around Usain Bolt and Michael Phelps mainly. So Usain Bolt, sprinter from Jamaica, unbelievable sprinter, and he set a new world record in the 100-meter dash, which is only slightly faster than my 100-meter dash time of 9.69 seconds, which is a world record. But the thing that was amazing was that right before he finished and crossed the finish line, he starts celebrating before he gets over the line rather than just running all the way through it. And so there are a lot of pundits that are like, he could have cracked 9.5, which is just unheard of. But we'll never know. And, of course, the older he gets, the slower he's going to get. That's happened to us, right? I mean, we used to be Usain Bolt speed, and then it just dropped off after that. But they are, so anyway, before he crossed the finish line, he's already celebrating and only had a 9.69 world record. So that was amazing. But on the American front, Michael Phelps won a record 8 gold medals. And I mean, some of the races too, like he won one of the races by like a fingernail. It was so close. And then the 400-meter relay, the last leg of that race, we were down, and it was a come from behind win. And the last leg on that relay, we came back and won, and so that was his 8th gold medal. But Michael Phelps, still to this day, I don't know that anybody's ever going to. I mean, of course, you say that. I'd love to see the athlete that can top that. Yeah, that is a record. I think it's going to stand for many, many, many years. But that was the Olympics in 2008 Beijing when that happened. But China did win the overall medal tally, but it was probably done on a scoreboard made in China. So I'm calling foul on that. I think America actually won personally. But a couple other highlights too from the Olympics that I wrote down. The U.S. men's basketball team, which in previous years had won back-to-back bronze medals. We had that run in there, 1984, in 1998. I'm sorry, 1988, where we. Sorry,
my fault.
My fault.
So for the listeners, Keith shared this picture that's very appropriate to what Noel was referring to with our lack of speed compared to our prime. But showed a picture. This picture is the Duke boys getting in and out of the General Lee. And then the last picture shows Uncle Jesse trying to get out the generally, and that's going to be more appropriate to what it's like for us.
Me in the 80s versus me now. Yeah.
That's appropriate. I think we should post that on the social media
We
sites.
will when we release this show.
Yeah, for sure. But so the U.S. men's basketball team, they had won back-to-back bronze medals, and we used to dominate in men's basketball. So this year, we put in Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, and of course, we took the gold medal. We beat Spain for the gold medal. So we reclaimed our rightful position as the most dominant basketball nation in the world. So, and the last note I wrote for the Summer Olympics. It's noteworthy, and I'll get to this. It was an odd thing that happened, but the most remarkable U.S. triumph definitely belonged to the men's volleyball team, which had last won a medal, which was a bronze in 1992. The team went undefeated, rallying behind its coach, Hugh McCutcheon, after his father-in-law had been stabbed to death by a deranged man at a Beijing tourist attraction.
No way.
Yeah, and
Wow.
I remember hearing that when I was watching the 2008 Olympics. I heard this story about what had happened, and the team just like, we're going to win one for the coach. I can imagine the coach. I don't know if my relative had been stabbed to death. I don't know that I'd be that focused, but be able to stay focused that much to coach the team. But they rallied and went undefeated. So it's pretty amazing.
That's wild. Huh.
In the world of baseball, the Philadelphia Phillies beat Tampa Bay Rays in 5 games to win the title in 2008. It was kind of a boring World Series. It rained a whole bunch. There was some controversy in Game 3 when the series basically got rained out. But it was like the series basically just didn't want to be played because there was so much rain in Philly. And anyway, so I have a couple of trivia questions for you guys. The first was, who was the Phillies closer that closed out the championship game for Philadelphia? And
wow,
I'll let you guys marinate on that, and I'll give you a bit of a hint. Need a hint?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a Houston Astros connection. Does that help any?
Billy Wagner?
Nope. I see.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Didn't he give up a home run to Albert Pujols?
It's that guy. Yep.
Yeah.
Brad Lidge.
Brad Lidge.
Yeah. Brad Lidge. Brad Lidge pitched the last game of that World Series and sealed the win for the Phillies. And my second trivia question is, and I'm great segue, but where did the ball land that Albert Pujols hit off Brad Lidge when he pitched for the Astros?
It hasn't landed yet.
that is the answer. Other answers that I would have accepted was the moon, the sun, or Uranus. So that ball was absolutely crushed. And I bet when Brad Lidge goes to bed at night, he still has nightmares about that night. I know I do. I can't go into Minute Maid Park and look at left field and not think about that home run that Pujols hit. Just a dagger through my heart every time I think about that. But,
so not to get too far off track, but which home run do you think was bigger, Pujols or the one that Jordan hit in the World Series this year?
Well, I Jordan Alvarez was to seal the World Series title. The one that Pujols hit, I think that put them into the World Series, but it didn't win him the title, but it got him to the game, and knocked the Astros out. So I'd have to say personally, I think the Jordan Alvarez home run was probably the bigger one.
Yeah,
but,
I agree.
Man, that was a towering home run too. Good grief, Jordan. Gee whiz. All right. The world of football, the Super Bowl, which, is hit or miss. It can either be a great game or it could be kind of a snooze fest, where you're pretty much there to watch the commercials. But in 2008, it was New York Giants versus the undefeated New England Patriots, and they were 18-0 going into the game, the chance to go 19-0, which had never been done before. Tom Brady, of course, quarterback, and it was amazing. So it was Eli Manning at quarterback for the Giants versus Tom Brady, two great quarterbacks. And the final 2 minutes and 42 seconds of the game, Brady drives all the way down the field, throws a touchdown pass with 2:42 left in the game to Randy Moss to lift the Patriots over the Giants 14-10. So Eli Manning gets the ball with 2 minutes and 42 seconds and drives all the way down the field, burns up all but 35 seconds on the clock, and throws a touchdown pass to Plaxico Burress. Plaxico, a name that I've never considered naming one of my kids. But if we have a third kid, which would be a miracle of science because it's physically impossible, I think we'll add it to the list. I think we'll consider it. But Plaxico Burress, Brady then gets the ball with 35 seconds. And, I rewatched this in preparation for the thing. They were all like, for the podcast, they were all like, it's too much time. He's going to have time to drive all the way down, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, oh man, there was a lot of drama build up and everything. And he was a master at game winning drives, and basically just went backwards. It was like 4th and 25 or something like that. Like the last play of the game, throws a pass and it went incomplete. And the Giants held on and handed the Patriots their very first loss of the season. And they went 18-1. Giants won the game. It was played in Glendale, Arizona, at the University of Phoenix Stadium. But pretty
was
amazing.
that the one that like it was like a 4th down play and Eli Manning threw it kind of midfield and like the dude caught it almost on his helmet or
David
something.
Tyree.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a miracle catch. If you're listening to this, you haven't seen that, it's on YouTube. Just Google 2008 Super Bowl final 2 minutes and watch it. I mean, it only takes 2 minutes.
It's worth the view.
It's really something. Actually, we may even post. I don't know if we can, but if we can post that video with this show, it might be a good thing to watch.
Why not?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But so
I do have to say real quick before we get away from the Super Bowl is thank goodness Tom Brady's finally retired. I mean, I have been waiting for this for decades now. His career lasts a lot longer than it should have. And the only thing that makes me more upset about him retiring and it's never seen again is to find out that he signed a 10-year contract with Fox Sports. So we'll have to see him for 10 years talking about football. So I won't be watching any games on Fox for the next 10 years. But
I have a lot of respect for him as a player. I mean, as an athlete, I think he's amazing. I mean, I hated him because he always beat my teams, but utmost respect for sure. But yeah, I agree with you. It was time for him to retire. If not for no other reason, I just didn't want to see him decline. There's nothing worse than seeing somebody who's way past their prime that should have checked out, like call it a day, and they don't. Yeah. But no, I think
he should have finished with that Tampa Bay Super Bowl win.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
That would have been a much better story than this year. But I mean, still, when you're a competitor like he is, it's got to be hard to hang it up. For sure.
So on the other end of the spectrum, in the world of football, in 2008, you had the Patriots who come up one game short of having a perfect season. On the other end of that is the poor Detroit Lions that had the most embarrassing record in all of sports. They finished absolutely winless, losing all 16 games for that season. They went 0-16.
Oh wow!
I was like, oh, dude. You got to mention it. I mean, I'm sorry if you're a Detroit Lions fan. Hey, you've bounced back. You've got a good team this year. But hey, couldn't believe it.
That's hard. That's hard to be a fan that through something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's coming from a tech person.
And we know misery, don't we, when it comes to sports? Holy moly. In the world of golf, so I kind of teased this in the last episode, but Tiger Woods won the U.S. Golf Open for the third time. This time he was forced to play in a playoff at Torrey Pines in San Diego against a golfer named Rocco Mediate. I don't know. Okay, I don't know that one, but he played against him and beat him. And I went and watched the final couple minutes or final couple holes actually of this in preparation for the podcast too. And I had to turn it up because he was kind of saying under his breath, but I heard Tiger Woods say, "Better things to come. I must think positive. Better things to come. I must think positive." He kept saying that to himself as he was playing last hole to win. And then I remembered, Keith, when you were telling the story about when you met him in that hotel in San Antonio, you told him, because he told you, "Hey,
I should have seen this coming."
You guys, I wish y'all could see the looks on y'all's faces. Y'all were like, "Really? You said that?" Yeah. So if you haven't listened,
good one, Noel.
If you haven't listened to the episode, it's sports, right? Of 95. Yeah. If you haven't listened to the 1995 sports episode, Keith ran into Tiger Woods in a hotel in San Antonio, and he didn't know who he was. And Tiger was like, "Yeah, I played in a golf tournament today, and I didn't do so well." And Keith was like, "Hey, man, better things to come. You must think positive." And that's what gave us Tiger Woods was Keith Abbott.
You got me on that one. I'm listening. Like, wow, you could hear this on the microphone and say it.
I can't believe I kept that together that long.
Hooked me tongue in cheek on that one. That was good.
That's your piece, Noel.
couldn't hold it together. Anyway,
brilliant.
But 2 days after winning this sudden death ending, which was, a dramatic win to win the U.S. Golf Open, it was revealed that Tiger had played the Open with a torn ligament in his left knee, and he had suffered a double stress fracture in his left leg. So he was basically playing that tournament one-legged. And they asked him after, they were like, "How's the knee?" And he's like, "I am done. I can't do anymore. I'm glad that's over. I got to get off my feet." So he won that thing with basically one leg. And I've seen both you guys play golf with two legs. We are not Tiger Woods, and he did it with one leg, and he beat Rocco Mediate, whoever that guy is. But he's gonna have to play Tiger, and way better than us.
Absolutely.
But anyway, that's not saying much. So in the world of tennis, there were no such physical handicaps. These guys both had two able legs, from what I could tell, but both these guys are certainly exhausted. Roger Federer, who is the reigning champion, played Nadal. Oh, crud. Don't have his name. Rafael Nadal. Thank you very much. He overcame him in the Wimbledon's men's final. Top-ranked Federer was within 2 points from becoming the first male since the 1880s to win a sixth straight Wimbledon, when his longtime rival, number 2 Nadal, rallied for a 6-4, 6-4, 6-7, 6-7, 9-7 victory. I hope y'all know what that means, but it ended a 4-hour, 48-minute match, the longest Wimbledon men's final in history. In 2 rain delays and with darkness becoming an issue, Federer hit a forehand into the net on Nadal's 4th match point. And so the kind of the running theme through all the sports in 2008 was dramatic finishes. So nothing boring in how many tennis, golf, football, and also in the Olympics, there was not a boring ending to many of the sporting events that were going on in 2008. So
you can definitely see why people thought this might be up there with one of the best sports years ever.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, they were definitely a lot of talk about
the best is yet to come.
Yeah. I'm saving it, Steve. In college basketball, Steph Curry, y'all have heard of him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plays for Gold State Warriors, World Championships, a couple of them. In 2008, he led 10th seed and heavy underdog Davidson on an improbable run in the Final Four tournament, leading them to defeat Gonzaga, Georgetown, and Wisconsin before losing in the Elite Eight to eventual tournament champion, the Kansas Jayhawks. And I was reading through this and I was like, man, Steph Curry. First of all, I didn't know where he came from. I didn't know he came from Davidson.
I didn't either.
And yeah, that was why I was like, I gotta bring that into the podcast. Thought that was pretty interesting, but almost made it into the Final Four. Speaking of the Final Four, this is the first 2008 tournament was the first time since the seeding began in 1979 that all 4 number ones reached the Final Four.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it didn't get very exciting. It was kind of boring. Like the favorites, except for Davidson, was winning every game pretty much for the entire tournament in double-digit romps for the most part. When it came to the Final Four, the number ones facing off to each other, Memphis won over UCLA in double digits. Kansas won over North Carolina in double digits. And then it looked like the final game between Memphis and Kansas was going to be another kind of a snooze fest. But Memphis was cruising to a 9-point lead with a couple minutes remaining in the game. And then Memphis stumbled down towards the end of the game at the free throw line. Kansas hit all its shots, including a Mario Chalmers 3-pointer with 2 seconds left to send the game to overtime. So again, this is 2008, dramatic finish. They sent this game to overtime, and the Jayhawks then coasted in the overtime to a 75-68 victory. It was their 5th national championship in its first 20 years. So
wow.
All about dramatic finishes in 2008. So if you have a boring afternoon, you want to watch some 2008 sports highlights, just pick a sport because all of them had pretty good dramatic endings in the championship. So anyway, thought that was interesting.
That's a heck of a good sports year.
Yep. I'll get 2 more sports to talk about.
Oh, I thought we were done. I thought we were done.
No.
We don't need to talk about the others.
I've got maybe 1, 2.
Just one. I think just go with one.
Noel still wants to talk about polo, rugby, rules, football.
In the world of checkers.
There you go.
And
in cribbage. No, I'm just kidding. In Formula One, which you guys know I'm a Formula One fan. I know you guys don't like it, but it's notable because British driver Lewis Hamilton became the first ever African American to win a Formula One championship title. He won it in the Brazil Grand Prix, and first African American to win it. He's gone on to win 7 titles in Formula One, which is ties the record Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton holds the same. They both won 7 championships, but thought that was worth including in the summary today as well. So
yeah, I have a friend that's a crew chief in NASCAR. It's not that I don't like racing. It's just that is that's something that it's kind of like Americans in soccer, right? You've really got to understand and appreciate Formula One, and I think and the more I hear you talk about it, and I've seen things about it, I need to delve more into this. So it's not that I don't like it; it's just I don't quite follow it in the way that I need to really appreciate it. And I think it's kind of like you were talking about in the music episode, Steve. That's one of those sports that the more I hear about it, the more I would like to embrace it a little bit more. Especially with your conversation that you had about going to see them wasn't it Austin that you went to, and the experience you had. Sounds fantastic. So I definitely would like to embrace that a little bit more. So
the 3 of us should do that together. I mean,
I'm game.
Dude, I'm all about it, man.
Awesome.
It is if you like technology, if you like, engineering and sports, it's Formula One's like all 3 of those wrapped up into one. And it is really amazing. I like the on-track stuff a lot better than the off-track stuff. The off-track, there's a lot of, drama and politics and stuff like that. But as long as you kind of block all that out and just stay on the track action, it's an amazing sport. But
isn't that any sport though? I mean, really,
it's true. It's true. And then kind of to wrap up, NBA basketball, Celtics won the title over Lakers. So that was
anyway. That's it. Thank you for listening.
All the sports, yeah. So I'm just poking at Steve. I knew this is what he's been waiting for, but the Celtics won the title over the Lakers, and I think Steve said it was their 17th championship.
Yep.
Gosh, you got to be running out of Raptors to hang the title flags right at that point.
Yeah,
that's embarrassing.
That's why they retire numbers. So it's I've never, as long as I've been a Celtics fan, I've never actually seen a game in Boston, and I should, because between the Bruins and the Celtics, they have so many banners up in the rafters. It's ridiculous. But there was drama actually in that NBA final as well, because I think it was Game 4. Paul Pierce hurt his knee. And left, I guess, early in the second half, and then very much dramatic style returned to the game later on in the fourth quarter, and which ended up be the game that really helped them clinch the strong lead in the series, and so wow, 2008 is a really cool year. I mean,
yeah,
it sort of sucked in music, but that sports really totally redeemed the year.
Yeah, it like I said, I mean, it's as advertised, it's one of the greatest years in terms of, and certainly in finales and the sports. I mean, I just ran through all those where the championship was decided in the last couple minutes of the game, in a lot of cases. So it's pretty amazing. But yeah, it was interesting year from a sports perspective.
Great wrap up of the year, Noel. Good job. Thank you. I appreciate the Wayback Chronicles research department providing you all of the resources you had.
They worked all night and into the day, but I appreciate their efforts.
Workhorses, all of them.
Double their pay.
Yeah, I think we should.
And really, kudos on highlighting that Tiger Woods story, because that is a moment that most golf fans would have missed.
I heard it, man. I heard it. It was like, better things to come. I must think positive. Better things to come. I must think positive.
That was good. You had me totally. Oh my gosh. Anyway, well, good to wrap up, Noel. That was awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
And I guess the next one I'll be back up on deck for the TV. And you know what's interesting? All of these have been talking a little bit about technology and how it's influenced things, even alluding to Formula One and the technology involved in that, music, how it influenced and changed how us as Gen Xers listen and then the future. TV was really impacted this year by all of these events too. And I'm really excited to show you how TV really took a turn this year. This was a year that really changed broadcast TV. And I was really surprised when I was researching this. And I'll tell you about the different things that happened, but to kind of put all of the 2 and 2s together, to sit there and go, oh, I didn't even think about that being the reason why these type of things are what they are right now. I don't even want to steal the thunder, but it's really cool how technology really has influenced TV from that point even through today and what we're interested in watching. So stay tuned for the next episode for that. That's my little tie-in for that. So
awesome. I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, very good.
Noel, thank you. I will say thank you so much for the sports episode, and we'll wrap this up. And again, for all of our listeners, if there was a sports event that stuck out in your mind, there's a lot of sports in this world that people are passionate about. Let us know what's important to you. Tell us something that was a really neat thing in your memory in the year of 2008 sports. We'd love to hear that and share those stories with us. So thank you again, and go ahead.
Yeah, we will post that video of the final 2 minutes and 42 seconds of the Super Bowl. It is definitely something to watch. Pretty cool.
It's worth it. That was a fantastic memory. But yeah, definitely. And we will, conclude at least the subject matter episodes of 2008 before we go into the mashups. How did you get in here? The dog just...
appeared.
The door's closed. The door's closed.
She's a magic dog, man.
How did she do? Anyway, so hi. Anyway, so okay.
Hi.
So we'll see you all. We'll see you all in the TV episode. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Wayback Chronicles. All shows are written and produced by Noel, Keith, and Steve. Massive thanks to those who made these memories possible for us through the years. All songs, sounds, and effects have been attributed in the comments section and through links listed on waybackchronicles.podbean.com. We look forward to taking you way back again in the very near future.